How do we make defending the faith, apologetics, accessible to the rank and file Christian without making it too intellectually daunting? I actually think that's fairly easy to answer. When you consider the broader field of defending the faith, there are simple things and there are complex things. Some things are very straightforward. Other things are esoteric. They're advanced. They're meant to be understood by only people with adequate education, and those things may be some philosophical issues. I actually think that most of the basic arguments for the existence of God, though they can be detailed in sophisticated ways, are easy to understand on a fundamental level. By the way, those three arguments are the cosmological argument, which is an argument for God based on the existence of the cosmos, the teleological argument, that is an argument for God based on the design of the cosmos. So the first one is that there is anything, and the second one relates to how we discover it to be. It's orderly in a very sophisticated way. The third argument is the moral argument. If there is no God, there is no morality, but there is morality of the objective kind. So the claim goes, therefore there is a God. Those are the arguments. And they can be summed up really simply, it seems to me, like this: cosmological, a big bang needs a big banger. Teleological, design needs a designer. Moral law requires a moral law maker. Now, of course, there are pushbacks on some of those points, and the pushbacks get a little bit sophisticated, but getting the basics is not that hard in many things. And the basics in each of those cases are intuitively satisfying. They make sense on a very basic level, and this puts the objector in the position of having to shoulder the burden of proof. That if somebody says, well, the Big Bang didn't need a big banger, in other words, the universe either created itself or came into existence for no reason out of nothing, well, that strikes me as requiring some justification, because that isn't the obvious answer. And so this is true with the other elements as well. So I think there's a lot of things that are quite simple. The resurrection. Well, the tomb was empty. Everybody acknowledges that. What best explains the empty tomb? Plus, the disciples said they saw a resurrected Jesus. So what best explains these two facts of history? Jesus was dead. The tomb was empty. The disciples thought they saw Jesus. Well, you can come up with lots of different scenarios. Well, not lots and lots, but 6 or 7 different ones that people have suggested over time. But when you look at the specific ones, they just don't make any sense. Why was the tomb empty? The disciples stole the body. Why would they steal the body? They were hiding. They were scared. And when they steal the body to claim that Jesus rose from the dead when he didn't, and they knew he didn't, then they suffered and died for that? If you're going to invent a lie, the basic rule is invent a lie that helps you, doesn't get you killed or tortured or mutilated or something like that. So that's just an example of the kinds of things that can be said about some of these basic things. There are lots of basic things that can be taught, even to children. And I know with my 9-year-old, I've gone through a couple of details. Who stole the body? Annabeth? What are the chances? Well, the Romans or the Jews or the disciples. Those are the only 3 groups. Right. Why would the Romans steal the body? No good reason. Why would the Jews steal the body? No, they wanted Jesus dead. Why would the disciples steal the body? No good reason. No good reason for the only 3 groups. Therefore, probably nobody stole the body. That isn't why the tomb was empty. Must be something else. So it's possible to work through these things even with kids, and or with adults that are sensitive to overcomplication. It just depends on the particular areas that you're concerned with. There are a lot of things in apologetics that are very accessible, and if you're tender-minded a little bit, you're just getting started, then start with the most accessible things. As time goes on, you get used to this, then maybe you'll get into some of the more challenging or esoteric or philosophical things. But there's a place to start for everybody, even kids.